So hi, it's me way up here in the small window. Welcome. Welcome to this week's movement video. So I'm Alissa Rae, and today we have a very special guest with us. So this is Dr. Krysstine, and we get to share and see all sorts of goodies that she's cooking up. So tell us, please, what do you do?
What do I do? Well, I'm kind of a jack of all trades in the spiritual and the healing world, I guess. What I do is I teach classes on taking personal responsibility, how to create the life that you want instead of being a victim of the life that you feel you're receiving. Ooh. So I teach tools to put in your toolbox so that you can learn that this life is really about what you want to create, not about what's happening to you. And then I also do counseling, one-on-one counseling and couples counseling, family counseling, and I also do energy work to help remove the blockages and the old beliefs and patterns and programming that keep us stuck in repeating the same patterns over and over again.
Great. So what I really love about what you do, and of course I'm going to see it through my filter, but what I love is that you have this way of addressing a mental picture and taking it apart in a way. You kind of, in a way, it's like you're carving out new neuro pathways and energetically reorganizing a structure to have this new set of like ahas. And part of the thing that I like about what I'm watching almost happen with the work that I do with the body, it's like they're intertwined in a way. You changed your mind and you got a different reaction, a different landscape in your body because of it. Right. And so the way that they can sort of dance and fluidly go together is just really potent. And so that's like why I'm drawn to that. Of course, there's other reasons as well, but that's for me really moving. So I wanted to just kind of, if we can nutshell it, what is the most influential thing that you've learned? So maybe not necessarily about yourself, but like the thing that you've learned, and I'm going to read the question exactly here. The most influential thing that you have learned in this work.
Whoa.
If you could just name one in a nutshell.
I think really what it is probably is that I have found that we all just want to be happy. And the work that you do, the work that I do, very similar, but different modalities. I mean, we're still doing the same thing to achieve a certain intention, but I think it's that we really basically all of us just want to be happy. And so my job is to assist my clients in finding what it is that brings them joy. What makes you happy? I've asked so many people that question and they just give me a blank stare because they've never allowed themselves to even think about what brings them happiness. So I guess that's probably the most influential thing. I mean, it sounds very simple, but it's very complex.
Right, because I feel like when we're kind of in that place of being unhappy, we're sort of focusing on all the things that aren't making us happy. So I know what I don't want.
Exactly.
Now you're going to ask me what I do want? Oh, I didn't think about that. I was too busy filling my existence with what I don't want.
Exactly. And so we have no focus on what it is we want, what brings us happiness. Because if I said to you, of all the things that you want in the whole world, what would you say? I don't know.
Yeah. And
but really, if I say, how about if I say, you just want to be happy? Yes, that's what I want. I just want to be happy.
Yeah. And again, similarly, is that feeling of in your body, we all want to feel better, right? If I asked you, would you like to feel better in your body? most people, I haven't met anyone yet that's like, no, I actually feel fantastic all the time.
Right.
And I think, again, that goes with it. When you're having happier or more positive thoughts and experiences, chances are you do feel better in your body. Or vice versa. You feel better in your body, you have better or more positive experiences, which kind of like brings me to one of your blog posts when you wrote about an act of kindness.
Oh, yeah.
And you wrote about how even when you're having that day of feeling sort of down or gloomy or whatever, and you reach out and you say, what a lovely blouse you have on, or I really love your necklace, how actually you feel that like joy pouring out of you, and it's also giving a sparkle to the person that you're sharing your experience with. And that, I liked that.
Yeah, because you're right. We become so mental, and I love your work because what you're teaching people is to bring it down into the cellular tissue, which is where it all is.
Yeah.
In our physical body.
Yeah.
In the cellular tissue.
Yeah, we could just have a love fest over here. Her and I will have a love pillow fight back and forth. No, I love your work more. No, I love your work more. And then another question is about, can you share with us? So I'm really wanting to bring to the audience that's here watching us is what's a skill that they can take with them? So what is one simple skill that they can take away and use in their life today, like right now, versus, oh, I have to take that, or I have to pay for this, or what can they take right now?
Oh, that's easy. Monitor your thoughts.
Monitor your thoughts. Okay, so walk us through it.
All right. So we use our unconscious mind 90 to 95% of our day, and our conscious mind 5 to 10%. So 90 to 95% of our day, we're creating from a place that we're not even thinking about, not aware of. And so my famous line is, what are you thinking about when you don't know what you're thinking about? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, because we've got all these looping thoughts and voices in our head, but we're really not paying attention to them because they've been a part of us for so long. It's what you call the resistor, I call the trickster. But it's the same thing. It's what we hear. And so when you're washing dishes or folding laundry or driving the car is the best place. And we don't even know how we got from point A to point B driving the car, but our thoughts were going. Mm-hmm. Every single thought that we have has the ability to create in our life, what I call the creative process. So if I'm looking in the mirror and I'm thinking, oh, your hair looks horrible today, or I don't like the color, or oh, look at all, I got another wrinkle, or whatever the case may be, that creates and brings to us exactly what the quality of our thought. So if I say I have, oh, look, there's another wrinkle, it goes into the creative process, brings it back to me, brings more of it back to me. Instead, if I look at it positively and I look at myself in the mirror and I go, I love you so much, that brings back to me that feeling and all of the juiciness and yumminess of loving myself. I attract people in that show me that I not only love myself, but that I am loved and lovable. So monitor your thoughts carefully.
I have one question. So what if I really, really want to believe that I love myself, or that I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to say that, and there's a big part of me that's like, yes, I really want that. And there's also a part of me that's like, but you're blah, 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 blah. Like, what should I do then? Because I do want to attract people that love me and have loving situations. So what is your advice about, I want to believe it, or...
Right. Well, first of all, when you do the but or the or, you're taking that seed that you planted and you're uncovering the seed to see if it's still growing. So you plant a positive seed in the ground, and you know that the ground's going to produce it with the sunshine and the rain, and that, so that soil is the universe. or your higher power, your connection to your higher power. So every time you have a positive thought, you plant a seed. Every time you have a negative one, you're uncovering it to see if it's still planted. And so it never has time to germinate and grow. So what I say is, when I have that negative thought and catch myself, I say, cancel, cancel, delete. That's not what I meant, universe. That's not what I meant. What I mean is, I love myself completely. And you just keep saying it, and you just start to retrain the circuitry in your brain, which then, of course, retrains the circuitry throughout your whole system. But cancel, cancel, delete has got to become your best friend. Even if you can't think of a positive thing to say, at least you've taken it out of the creative process by saying cancel, cancel, delete.
Okay. And so I'm just going to keep delving just a little, being that person that's going to keep digging after that.
All right.
So at that point where I'm saying cancel, cancel, delete, am I acknowledging that I have a fear about feeling that way? Am I still imagining what it would be like if I did love myself? Like, which direction? Because it leaves part of me feeling like, you're bad. Don't feel that. Go away. Delete. No, don't feel that. So where is the, you know what I mean? Like, where is that?
Well, and that's a good point. I mean, we could talk about this for days.
Sure.
But yes, when I say cancel, cancel, delete, it's not about me being bad. It's not about me making a mistake. What it's just saying is, okay, universe, my higher power, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean what I just said, because I'm just so programmed to say it that I don't even think about whether I believe it or not. And so I just repeat it. Now, if it is a fear, if it truly is a fear that I don't love myself, then of course we need to do more work around loving yourself, feeling your feelings about loving yourself. What does it feel like to love yourself? What does it feel like when you feel loved? And I usually just close my eyes and just feel what that might feel like. And I know you do that kind of work too with your students in your classes. But I'm not in any way trying to cut off what it feels like.
Good. And I know that I'm wanting to make that clear.
Yeah.
Because I find that really a potent part of what you do.
Yes. Because it's not ever about saying I'm bad or I'm wrong or putting a negative connotation to it. It's just helping you to become aware of how hard we are on ourselves all the time, all day long, beating ourselves up. I'm fat, I'm ugly, nobody likes me, I'm stupid. All of those things.
Yeah.
That just are so painful and hurtful to us.
Sure, things we would never say to anyone else.
Right. We say it all to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of like taking a helicopter view out when you're saying the cancel, delete. Okay.
Yeah.
So monitoring your thoughts. I went on a sort of a long sidetrack there. Sorry. So we're back to monitor your thoughts.
Right.
So can you be more clear about how to monitor your thoughts? So imagine that you have no idea. Can you give us a context or put a few lines around it? Because I may think, I need to go and meditate for 3 hours and monitor my thoughts. And if I don't be able to do that, I know there's a practical way. And show us, what's the practical way?
Well, for me, the practical way is to just be aware. I know that sounds simplistic, but we are so unaware all day long, completely unaware, that just knowing what I just said about monitoring your thoughts, what are you thinking about when you don't know what you're thinking about? I want you to be the detective. I want you to be your personal detective and try and catch yourself every time you have one of those thoughts. It really is as simple as that. It has to start there. Of
Okay.
course, it's much more complex,
Sure.
but it has to start with monitoring your thoughts. What are you thinking about when you don't know what you're thinking about? And write them down. I like to keep a notebook right beside me. And even in the car, if I can just write down one word that will remind me that a thought that I had that just keeps looping in my head. That's just awareness. That's bringing your conscious mind into effect. So you want to go from thinking unconsciously for 90 to 95% of your day. You want to change it to being aware or conscious of your thoughts 90 to 95% of your day. Because wouldn't you rather create your day with a conscious mind than all the unconscious garbage that's going on?
Yeah.
Junk in, junk out.
So, so what I hear you saying is it's not so much about worrying what I am thinking, just noticing what I am thinking.
Yes.
So it's sort of like, that's interesting. I just spent the last 10 minutes, fretting over the hole in my jeans and how it looks on my skin and la 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 la.
Exactly.
And wow, I didn't even notice I was doing that. Or like you
Right.
said earlier, I'm driving to the park. I don't remember the last turn I made. Where was I?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, of course, don't beat yourself up, because then you're just adding to that part of the creative process. Loving yourself and say, yes, I caught that. Good job.
Okay.
Just always being your best cheerleader. But you can't be your cheerleader if you don't know what you're thinking.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
That's true. That's true. And however uncomfortable that may be to see yourself,
Yeah.
that is part of the process. And maybe that's why it is so hard, because it's like seeing yourself and realizing that you're just a human.
That's
Just
right.
like every human, we're all humans, and we've all adapted in certain ways and done certain things. And can you really see what you are doing?
That's right. And what you're doing to yourself, not to anybody
Sure,
else.
sure.
Because we're just spiritual beings having a physical experience. And the physical experience is that looping and that resistor or the trickster or whatever we call that voice in our head that we just never even stop to think why we even have that voice in our head and what are they saying.
Yeah, my favorite new name for that voice is my inner roommate.
That's a good one.
I just like it because it does live in there, and it's just that matter of like, some days I really want to listen and hear it. And do I always need to hear it? Can I listen without hearing or hear without listening? Do I have to follow the advice it's trying to give me?
Right, right. And can I ask the question, is that really what I believe?
That's a good one.
No, do I really believe that? And if I don't, then can I change that? Can I change what I truly do believe?
That's a good
Not
one.
what somebody's trying to tell me I should believe. You know how roommates are always trying to give advice?
Roommates give advice a lot, and they're pretty wishy-washy. Pretty wishy-washy.
Right.
So, what is the biggest challenge that you see in your practice? Like, if you could just kind of lump together every person that you've ever worked with, what is the most common challenge that you see? And maybe it's the same as your previous.
Mm-hmm. Are you asking me like for a common thread between them?
Yes.
Or a challenge for me as a
No,
practitioner?
a common thread is a challenge for the person coming to you.
Oh, well, yes, it's very much the same thing. I call it the complain and blame game. That we all have a story, and we all like to tell our story. And my counseling is so much different than a lot of other people, because I do want to hear the story, but I don't get caught in the story. And what I look for is who are they trying to blame? It's never about anybody outside of you. It's what I teach and what I see is that our inability to look within, because we haven't been taught that. And it's not a fault. It's just we haven't been taught, so how do we know? So what I see is we are trained to blame and complain about everything else outside of us for all of our problems. We have not been taught what is the common denominator. Me.
Yeah.
In every scenario of your life, who's always there?
Ta-da!
You.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when I think the common thread is that we're all doing the same thing, and and it is insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, hoping for a different result. And that's really what we're all doing. So that, I guess, is the common thread, is that we don't know any different. We haven't been taught any different.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to teach this to parents, number one, who have little ones, and then I'd love to teach the little ones starting in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
Take responsibility for the creation of your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because anytime you blame, you're pointing a finger at them, but you're getting three back at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What's my role in it?
Mm-hmm.
What is my role in it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice. So you answered already the question I didn't ask. I was going to ask, how do you help them deal with it? And you just basically said, what is my role in it?
Right.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's where the toolbox comes in with all the tools that I teach. Because, all right, in this situation, which tool am I going to get out of my toolbox to use so that I claim personal responsibility? I claim that it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
And how am I going to look at it so that I don't hurt myself or beat myself up, but I love myself enough to look at it and say, I don't want to create that anymore.
Yeah.
I want to create what brings me joy. I want to create what brings me happiness. I want to create beauty and harmony.
Yeah.
And it's my responsibility to do that. So what tool am I going to use? Hammer, screwdriver.
So what else is brewing for you? We're gonna kind of wrap it up here, but I want you to have a chance to share with us about anything new that you're working on or coming out with, or where, tell us the name of your website and when your book is coming out, hint, hint, and stuff like that.
Oh, well, my website is Dr. as for Dr. Krysstine, and that's Krysstine. So it's DrKrysstine.com. And what I'm working on, it's always an evolution. I'm very much have surrendered to my guidance and try mostly to just go with the flow of what it is that's needed at that time. But I do know that there's something brewing up here about a book. Developing online classes is really in the forefront for me right now. So be looking for that. It will be the material that I teach in person, but since I can only be here in Colorado at one time, this will give me the opportunity to assist people who live wherever they live and want this information. I think the biggest thing that I'm working on right now is deepening my energy practice, because what you and I were just talking about, you asked the question, so what could you do if you had these looping thoughts and you kept saying, I don't believe that I call it the giant eraser with my energy work, that I can assist you then to go in and we just take a big eraser and we erase those old programs and those old beliefs and those old patterns to assist you to more fully love yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's always something going on.
Yes. So I will post all of that below. Can they sign up to get your blog and your newsletter at your website?
Yes, at my website.
Okay, great. So go on over there and check her out.
And they can contact me through my website. And I do private sessions on the phone, and I can do energy work on the phone as easily as if someone's here. So don't let location stop you from thinking that my work can't assist you.
Awesome. Awesome. So thank you so much for coming and meeting me here in cyberspace.
Yes.
I wish I could give you a real live hug and just tell you thank you so much for bringing what you bring to our humanity.
Oh, thank you.
And
thank you for doing this. This is amazing.
Well, good. And yeah, so I'd like to challenge you watchers out there. I would like to know, number one, what are you thinking about when you're not thinking? Can you give me your top 3? I want you to post it either here or on my Facebook page, where I'll put the link there. We want to know. I want to have more of this rich experience with all of you sharing, because when we see each other's vulnerabilities, we realize, oh yeah, I'm human too. There's no like, we're all in this together, and I think that sharing it and having compassion with each other and laughter with each other, not only does it scientifically proven reduce your stress level, puts you out of fight or flight, hooray! It also just enriches your experience together in your body right here, right now. I'd like more of that. Would you like more of that?
I would definitely like more.
She
than
would
that.
too. All right, so, okay, I'll see you next week, and we'll say bye to Dr. Krysstine, and thank you so, so much.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Love.